We're going to start today with a question. Okay, technically we're starting today with me saying we're going to start with a question, but anyway. The question is, what drives a character's actions in any given story? If you said goals, you would mostly be correct. Goals set out things that a character wants to achieve, and these goals drive action and in turn drive the plot. Now a follow-up question, what drives a character's goals? If you said motivations, then you are also correct. Or maybe you were only correct on the second question. Anyway, motivations are the underlying reason that a character wants to pursue a goal in the first place. Where goals are sort of finite and more task-oriented, motivations are a more pervasive part of who that character is. So now we've come to a third question and the topic of this video. What drives motivations? Often motivations are driven by what a character believes, and it's these character beliefs that I want to talk about today. Specifically focusing on how character beliefs can help develop a character, how those beliefs can create conflict in the story, and how the story might test those beliefs. I think this works really well because it strongly mirrors how people actually think. Life is about experiences, but also our beliefs about those experiences. Beliefs are strictly internal, whereas experiences can also be external, and our beliefs may or may not line up with reality. Like my belief that the cat was going to sit behind me for the entirety of this video. Regardless, beliefs do tend to affect our actions in either positive or negative ways. There are states of being, states of reality, and there are how we feel about those states. And the influence that we intellectualize about those states often manifest as beliefs, which can in turn affect our perception and also our actions. But that's a much larger topic. Let's step back from the terrifying abyss that is actual reality and talk about fiction. I got a little worried there for a second. Character beliefs can often be boiled down to simple, often absolutist statements, even if your character isn't actually a Sith. The character might believe that they are unlovable, or that people will always betray them, or that large organizations are inherently corrupt. They might believe that they are a slave to fate, or they might believe in free will. Anything that a character's past has taught them can manifest in a belief. A belief can be something that comes internally, or it can be something that's created from something external. The character's mentor or parents might have drilled something into them, or maybe they've been fed propaganda from an oppressive government for their entire lives. A character needs to be well developed in order to have enough experience to even have beliefs in the first place. This is why thinking about what beliefs a character has can be a great help when it comes to developing a character, as beliefs are a natural side effect of lived experience. Now, the reader can either be in agreement with a character's belief or not. It might be something that they want the character to stop believing, or something that they want the character to continue believing. What route you take here is going to depend on what happens to this belief over the course of the story. Oftentimes, character arcs center around changing that character's beliefs in some way. They either need to stop believing something or start believing something. Oftentimes in stories, we want the character to stop believing something. We want them to believe that they can commit to a relationship. We want them to keep fighting. We want them to turn against their evil mentor. The conflict in these types of stories drives home that this belief is negatively affecting the character, and assuming that the reader is sympathetic enough to that character, then the reader will want them to change. You'll often hear about the lie that a character believes and how the story works to disprove that lie. But I would be lying to you if I told you that that was the only option. While the conflict in a story will often attempt to change a character's belief, and the reader might want a character's belief to change, changing a belief isn't always a positive thing. A character can start a story believing in something positive, and that resolve can be tested throughout the story. You'll often see this with sort of sports-related stories, like, say, Miracle or Cinderella Man. The protagonists of these stories usually believe deep down that they can win, and the story might test that belief, and the protagonists may doubt this throughout, but ultimately in the end they are proven right. If your story involves some type of rebellion against a system, or someone being lost in the jungle or something like that, then it will likely have a similar sort of structure. The character has a belief that they can survive, or a belief that they can change things, and the story tests that belief. Losing that belief isn't what resolves the conflict for the character, maintaining that belief is. And what the reader ultimately wants is the character not to lose that belief. This is in contrast to the times where we want the character to change their beliefs. In these situations, it's more about maintaining that belief. Just like I'm glad I maintained your attention throughout this video, assuming you didn't just skip to the end. So there you have it. I'm probably going to explore this topic in a little bit more detail in future videos because I think it's fairly interesting. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video and found the advice in it useful. If you want to see more stuff like this, you can check out all my other writing advice related videos and subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every Wednesday and occasionally on Friday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.